live. It's doing its little turly thing. Are we on? It says we're live. Hello, my people. How are you? Where are you? You're up there. Good to be with you on this. What day is it today? Honey?
Tuesday.
We last minute tweaks, sharing information, getting the videos ready, getting a few pictures ready. We haven't clicked to, put pictures on the screen before. We're still learning all the things. Still learning. Like I'm looking down here. You're up there. The monitor's here. I'm used to kind of looking at myself when and you're up there. So we still got to tweak that. I'm hearing Doug play some videos in the background. My ADD's going nuts. I'm smiling, but it's that kind of stressed smile. I can hear me over there on a delay. Here we are. And as always, lots going on in the world. I have spent the last 3 days hardly watching any news at all. Doug would pop into my space now and then and say, this happened or this happened, but only a couple times. I stayed in my own bubble because I was researching, deep dive, ridiculous researching into debunking. What I was doing was debunking this video, this accusation that's gone viral, that ERIKA, Kirk, and Blake Wynn, whatever is going on in the relationship, was going on in Beverly Hills for all the Beverly Hills world to see. And you can't convince me for a moment that that is legitimate. I'm not saying that there's something, there's something weird going on there. It's weird. My mind has ran the gamut of, they're just really close friends. There's questions about why her friends tend to be guys through Charlie. We're going to get to all that. We're going to touch on a little bit of everything. But let's kick it off with one of my favorite people, Keith Edwards. Do you know who he is? Do you follow Keith Edwards on YouTube? He's adorable. He's gay, but I just want to mush him up and put him in my pocket. He's adorable. Oh, he's so freaking adorable. Keith Edwards. Okay, where's this
Amanda
video?
Ungaro, who is a Melania Trump.
Well, okay. I thought I was going to hit the button, but I didn't even see it here. See, we're still in sync. I'm telling you, I've been so deep into this research mode that Doug and I haven't seen a lot of them in the last few days. So we're getting in sync. So you have the video up. Can we make Keith bigger than that, or is that what's going to be? Because he's so beautiful. You got to see this guy. And what this story is what I heard somebody refer to as a model, a former model and friend of Melania Trump's. No, this was her best friend who is very connected to Melania and Trump and Epstein and she was there for 20 years. Since she was 16, she was in the know. So Keith breaks it down. I'm getting to a point where I've learned to stop reinventing the wheel. If somebody has already done the breakdown, we're going to go there. We're just going to let them do it. So I hit play. Okay. Bam. I hit play. I hit it. I hit play. I'll hit it again. Should I hit it again? If we're both hitting stuff. I'm gonna look at your comments. I'm gonna look. Oh wait, or not. Or not. What do we do? I need you to use your words, Doug. Otherwise, I don't know what to do. Should I hit play? Because it's here. I'm going to hit play.
Now, this will
Don't
be
hit
reloaded.
play. He's going to reload the video. He's going to reload the video. The last thing I do is throw some makeup on my face, and clearly I didn't get far. I always think we have plenty of time. He came home from a dinner. It was around 8:30. No, it was around 8, a little before 8. I said 9. Let's go live at 9. That's plenty of time. There's never enough time. Yes.
You ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Amanda Ungaro, who is a Melania Trump's ex-best friend, who was deported by her ex-boyfriend, Paulo, who is in the Trump administration, did it because he wants to be closer to his child, doesn't want her in the child's life. Very messy, dramatic situation. That broke Amanda. Amanda started coming out with all of these facts about Melania Trump, things that we didn't know, but things that we kind of knew might be true. Well, Amanda is back out now confirming, according to her, that Melania Trump and Epstein had a, let's just call it a business relationship. Has come out, says she has secrets about Melania Trump. Now, these are Amanda's own words. She has said previously that Melania worked as an escort for Epstein and that she has the receipts. And then this came out. Her ex-boyfriend, Paulo Zimpoli.
Let's tell the public you never was the one introduced Melania to Trump. It was Jeffrey Epstein. She was a escort of Jeffrey Epstein. That's how she met Donald Trump. Okay? You are like
Whoa!
supposedly asking a favor to be in the power with the titles, and then Melania cover you and you cover Melania. Let's be honestly, nobody's a stupid here. And I know because I was with you 20 years and you always told me it was not you, was Jeffrey Epstein.
There you go. I mean, what else is there to say? That's crazy. Breaking right now. This just came out 2 hours ago. Paulo just responded to this. Proves that that video is actually her because he's responding to it. And he says, enough of the vicious lies, conspiracy, and disparaging attacks against our marvelous First Lady. The truth is in the records. First Lady Melania Trump is the most elegant, graceful, intelligent, perfect First Lady America has ever had, a true icon of strength, dignity, and class. Wait, what? Notice to social media activists, most of the content coming from Amanda is AI manipulated. Our legal team is monitoring. And then he posts an AI generated image. Everyone always speaks in puzzles. Not Amanda Ungaro.
No, she does not. I paused it here. Okay, babe? I paused it here. So, Amanda does not. And when you go to her Instagram, she has some great, she's just started, but she's Italian. It's in Italian. You see the subtitles, but she's just learning to tell her story. She's just getting comfortable in telling it. And I wish I would have thought to download this, but she uses her dog as an analogy of how you bring this dog into your home, mine of whom I can hear panting quite loudly right now. Hey, Buck. Shh. Shh. You're so pretty. Yes, you are. He just stopped. He just stopped. Let's see if it'll. Usually that's all you got to do. Oh. Again, the ADD, it's like squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. But she has this beautiful husky, and she uses the analogy of you bring your dog into the home, like especially if it's a rescue, you don't know what damage has been done, and you just see the dog going through this process of like staring at the door, wondering who's going to come in, how to react to what's going on around it. It's very powerful. So in this audio, she's addressing the man who had her removed from the country, who called in a favor to Trump, who undoubtedly came up with this arrangement with Melania because Melania needed that alibi. No, Epstein didn't introduce me. Let's say you did, Paulo. We'll say you did. And now he's been made, I don't know, all these different positions. But you see him, he's part of the pack. He goes around with Vance. I mean, this guy is in. And it's because he knows all the things, but so does Amanda. So Melania shows sides to cover her own arse. And Amanda, there were some charges, you know, something about a medical office and nothing like, oh, but they trumped up something, no pun intended, had her arrested. She sat in jail for like 3 months away from her child because the whole point was to get her away from the child. So you hear Doug's dropping stuff. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Anyway, what a disaster. I remember this story. Do you guys remember this story? This mom separated from her child because a business associate of Trump's wanted his kid to, you know, be around more. They got her out of the country. She's not in prison anymore. And she's speaking. Now, some people are like, we already knew this. We already knew this. Yeah, but we didn't know, you know? Now the receipts are coming out. And they could have not responded. Just like ERIKA Kirk could have stayed quiet about this accusation that she was hooking up with Blake Wynn in Beverly Hills for all the world to see, which is just so ridiculous. Right from the get-go, the witness's description of this hotel being exclusive and that you needed an invitation to go to the club, and it was just wrong, wrong, wrong. It was just check, wrong, check, check. Even John Mayer and his girlfriend, they broke up. All you got to do is go to Kate Stickler. That's who his ex-girlfriend was. All you had to do was go to her TikTok. And she didn't say John Mayer and I broke up, but you know, she's talking about her dating life and going on dating apps again. It shows you that on May 14th, she wasn't in the hotel because the witness said that her friend, oh, remember, because it wasn't even the witness who saw it firsthand. It was through a friend. I just don't know why you would base your whole reputation on this. And Project Constitution has put out some great stuff. He put out that Amazing Race video that I referenced a lot back in the day, which feels like a decade ago. But how you respond to these things matters. And ERIKA Kirk, there have been other accusations. There was one rumor, accusations about her dating. There was one about Tom Brady. And I thought Turning Point put that out. An attempt to raise her stock or something. I don't know. Or it could have just been some AI thing going around. But no. All right. So Amanda, check her out on Instagram. She's just now starting to come out. Melania knows. That's why Melania did the press conference. I did a little video about it. It's just dodgy. When you know who you are and you are secure in that, you don't have to run around putting out these little fires. I know sometimes we just get in a mood. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. We're up eating ice cream. We're scanning the internet. We made the mistake of Googling our name. And you feel like you've got to address all these little things. And it's not a good look. It's not a good look. Candace is in Russia. That's real, right? I'm pretty sure, right? Didn't I hear that? That's where they're on holiday, Russia? I gotta look at your comments, or Doug, look for me. Is she actually in Russia? He's shrugging. Are you guys answering? It's frustrating because my glasses, like I need like not just reading glasses. Thank you, person. Candace is in Russia. Wow. You think part of that is just to troll people? I'm going to holiday in Russia. It'll keep everybody talking. Well, good for her. I know that her last holiday was in Rome, right? She did her confirmation, first communion there. I don't know, doing some Catholic thing there. All right, let's see. What do I have queued up next? Let's see.
Just hoped that this would go away without requiring any sort of
Blake Neff. There should have been a trigger warning. Next up, we're going to delve into Blake Neff. And this is actually pretty significant. This was the catalyst for me wanting to do this live. Even yesterday, I was hoping to be able to jump on here because last week I came across this, I don't know how. Somehow, sometimes it just unfolds. I don't even know how. But Blake Neff was fired from Fox News for reasons that will be explained here. And then a couple days ago, or was it yesterday? We were crashing out, like getting ready to go to bed. Let's just check what Baron Coleman's doing. And I think it was his podcast from the day before, from Sunday. And it kicked off with an aspect of this, of Blake Neff. And I think my reaction was, Doug, what did I do? Kind of like
You smacked me.
I smacked you. Because I was like, hey. And I know we all think the world revolves around, I don't think I'm on his radar at all. Maybe his producers, I don't know. But I think being the hypocrite I am, right? I think I went to the comments under his post because I can't watch the whole 3 hour and something thing, but I was like, did he give me a shout out in here somewhere? Did he? Like, what was there did somebody see, that little clip I posted that maybe I did something that I don't know. What I told Doug is that regardless of whether you get a shout out from somebody who is, much more established in this world than I, it's nice to know that I'm plugged in, little fuzzy, that I'm plugged into whatever the universe got going on here. Because right now we're in a season of just the truth being exposed across the board in every area. So we're going to look at Blake Neff because it begs the deeper question of why did Charlie Kirk hire this guy? A lot of people knew that Blake was fired from Fox, but they didn't know the details. Baron went much deeper than I did. So much so that when we get to the part of sharing his clip, I don't share hardly much of it. Spoiler, he goes into this thread, this racist, misogynistic thread that Blake has been involved in over a period of 10 years. It's so grotesque, some of the things that are being said, that I just wanted to make the point that the thread has been revived and the things that are said are just horrible. And so people are seeing that and they're saying, I knew that Blake came from Fox, but I thought CNN, CNN, right, was just blowing it out of proportion. How could Charlie hire this guy? We're in a season of Charlie being glorified, really. This is such a strange comparison, but I was in the United States for a wedding when Princess Diana was tragically killed or died, however you want to phrase that. And they were interviewing people in the airport going to London, where Doug and I and our kids were living at the time. I had 3 babies over there. Marks, sit down, honey. Sit down. There you go. We have 3 little Pomeranians and they're all like staring. And the thing that struck me is how the press that would just tear Princess Di up, just hound her all the time. All of a sudden it was all this like glorified singing her praises. And, when somebody passes tragically, sometimes you forget some of the controversial kind of things. Even if you agreed with most everything he said, there were still some things. I remember in the CBS interview that ERIKA Kirk did with Barry Weiss, she was like, my husband never, raised his voice. I wish I had that clip, and they put a bullet in his neck. But it was essentially her listing 3 or 4 things that he did perfectly and that she was presenting. And I put together a video that contradicted everything she said, not to, slam on Charlie, but just like, people, let's not lose perspective here. Okay. This wasn't gentle Jesus, meek and mild. He was Charlie Kirk and he had some fire in him. All right. So here we go. Let's just kick this thing off. This is the video that I posted not a couple weeks ago, but 8-9 years ago, it seems. I don't know. At least a week ago.
Direct statement or confrontation from us.
The top writer for Fox News host Tucker Carlson,
The lovely and talented Blake Neff,
has resigned from his position at the network after racist posts that he allegedly authored surfaced.
Was wrong. We don't endorse those words.
Suzanne Scott, the head of Fox News, referred to it as horrific.
I like to argue with people in like a Telegram chat.
Posted offensive material over a number of years on an internet message board called AutoAdmit.
You guys know me. I'm a more shy person.
Black dudes staying inside playing Call of Duty is probably one of the biggest factors keeping crime down, he reportedly wrote.
Very risky move.
Wouldn't get LASIK from an Asian for free.
How to put it?
In response to an email thread with the subject line, would you let a jet black Congo N-word do LASIK eye surgery on you for 50% off?
It would explain a lot of his hatred toward Candace Owens. Because she's black. He doesn't like black people.
But you'll get better.
We initially just thought no one would believe a lot of what was being said.
This writer said whatever comes out of Tucker's mouth, he wrote the first draft of it, right? And I don't, maybe he's, he's exaggerating, who knows? But it seems like he's trying to
Blake.
He would say, Blake, what's our good talking point on the border, on marriage, on anything? I was so happy to help him with that. And because of what he had to say, he changed the world.
You really were defiant, and it was beautifully done because you were back at you.
Okay. So that wasn't a straight timeline, but it gives you the general idea. And then on Twitter, I saw that somebody figured out who exactly hired Blake. Because someone had commented, well, Tucker Carlson recommended Blake to Charlie and Charlie hired him. But I hadn't been able to confirm that and then inadvertently stumbled upon it. And this is just the end of the clip, but it makes the point. Charlie did, in fact. I mean, it was all Charlie via Tucker Carlson's influence.
you were part of something and only had so much control at that moment, right? And so
they were bullying me. Suzanne Scott got me. I was in the parking lot of a place I was in Bozeman, Montana fishing, and she called me, and I went outside to do my pre-show bathroom break, always outside if I can do it. And she called me and she said, you need to say what he said was wrong. And I said, I'm not doing that, period. And you can fire me and the show's live in 10 minutes. I'm not doing that. And she goes, well, I guess I can't make you. And she, until the day she fired me, she never really talked to me after that.
Yeah. I'm not trying to get into any of that, but I do believe that.
Oh, I want to get into it. It was horrible what they did to him.
Your hands were tied in that moment. And you defiantly said, I remember you said, I just want everybody to know that you are gloating over a young man's life being ruined, and shame on you. You basically, I'll never forget that. And I remember thinking, okay, like if Tucker's got his back in this moment, this guy's pretty great.
He's the best.
Yeah, and he's been the best.
And
we put him on air.
Exactly.
And by the way, and now look at this. The show is going on. ERIKA Kirk has demanded that the show goes on, and we're going to figure out the details, and Blake is going to be critical to that.
But it takes the bravery of an individual to get there. So like everything is fine now, and Blake can do whatever he wants, and people know who he is because they get to see him and they can make their own judgments about him. But when Charlie made that decision, and he's the one who would have been blamed if it had gone wrong, people didn't know who Blake was apart from what they read in the New York Times. Slander devised by CNN and Oliver Darcy. That's a fact. And not helped by a lot of other people who I shouldn't be attacking. You're right. Sorry about that. But he's the one who allowed Blake's life to continue. And I felt it so strong because that's my world. Like, I know what that is. All those people are like, well, you can't put him on air. Like, he did bad things. I heard that. And Charlie was like, he was willing to stand up to him and say, no, that's not true. Like, most people are not going to do that. No one will do that.
Well, and I remember the nasty articles. There was a few. And Charlie would just write back, LOL.
So that's courage. In case you're wondering what courage is, that's actual courage. And you know that it is because it's so rare. Nobody does that. If people do that, who are they? I live in this world. Like, I know every single person hosting every single show, and they don't do that. And he did that. And so that's what actual courage is. Courage is standing up for what is true in the service of other people, in the service of showing love to other human beings. That's the commission that we get from Jesus, period. And he actually did that at great risk to himself. Anyway, bless you, Blake, for being at the center of that.
Thanks for standing with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Genuinely. Can I say something that you told me that the night of that blew my mind? And
Go for it.
So we're bringing Blake to the brink here.
We were in Provo the night of. And it was like we were all shell shocked, and Blake was there with them when it happened, and we filter in late at night into this little like corner of the restaurant, the hotel in Salt Lake City, and I don't know how it came up, but Blake says I will never forget it. He said, "Charlie gave me my life back."
Yep.
And I knew exactly what he meant, and now I think the audience does too.
Over the course of 5 years?
Okay.
So when did that take place?
Okay. So that was September 19th, from what I could tell, September 19th, just over a week after he died. What? And that much energy had to go into building up Blake Neff. That was an interesting tangent. That's overwhelming to me. There's just a lot there. First of all, how deep Blake Neff has been implicated in this whole thing. And that Tucker essentially put him there. It's odd. Like, sometimes my head just hurts with the way everybody's so interconnected. Like, Megyn Kelly had Charlie on August 6th, 2025. He had just come out of the, I guess, New Hampshire or the donor meeting, or maybe that was later, but he had just come out of a meeting where it was being put on the line that they're like, he was losing multi-million-dollar donors, and he was upset and he was fiery. She had to have known that he was coming out of that. He responded in a way that, okay, I didn't know we were going to talk about this, because she brought it up. She said, all this pushback, I've been supportive. I think she's speaking of herself. She'd been supportive of Israel for so many years, on the front lines for them. And then she mentions Epstein perhaps being tied to Mossad and therefore Israel, and she gets torn apart. And he's like, I'm glad you brought this up. And then he goes off. It just feels like she's that girl in high school that kind of could manipulate conversations. And then ERIKA is on stage with her saying the wrong book date, when the book was completed, and Megyn knew that because that came up in the August 6th interview. But Megyn Kelly hasn't come out and said in a direct confrontational kind of way, and she sure didn't then in the interview, ERIKA lied about the book being finished when Charlie told me on August 6th he was still working on it, because ERIKA said directly to Megyn Kelly it was done in June or July. She was very sheepish. She was clearly very intimidated by Megyn Kelly. And I knew, and I think she knew she was going to drop some bombs. But it's just these people are just all so intertwined. And we've been pointing fingers at NEFF and Colvette, but it's like everybody's fingers are in there somehow. But there's no small decisions, right? It just, one thing leads to another. And I'm not saying that Megyn Kelly or Tucker Carlson acted nefariously. It's just a reminder there really are no small decisions. It's all intertwined. So when they say things like, when Tucker said, Charlie said, no, that's not true. But what's not true? What's not true? Any of them, Colvette, who clearly didn't know anything about NEFF because he was just going on Tucker's reference. But he said, Charlie said, no, that's not true. Or he'd see an article that was calling out Blake Neff, or maybe Turning Point for hiring him, and he would just respond with LOL. So the implication is either he just trusted Tucker so implicitly or he was so steeped in this school of thought that anything from what would be labeled liberal media is just a lie, that he dismissed it, that he didn't even look into it, or he trusted Tucker so much he didn't even look into it. Or what's darker is that he did look into it and he didn't care, which would be disturbing. Again, I'm not going to mention all the things that were said. You can find them. What Blake said under a pseudonym, it was anonymous, right? And now it's set up. I saw Barron said that this platform where it regenerates a new anonymous name every time you go on, because they figured out that Blake Neff was Charles something, but it was a CNN investigator and an investigative reporter who discovered this. Tucker, in that segment, somewhere in there, he said, it just came out of nowhere. Like the timing, like was some attack that like they'd been sitting on it, on this information, and then just whatever. So what? Do you see how they didn't take responsibility in any way? It just came out of nowhere. Like, so what? God is faithful to expose things that we keep in the dark. Or Colvette bringing up that they were just, the bad guy, the bad liberals, they were just out to destroy a young man, a young white male man. Bam, call back. But isn't that what it's about? Because the attacks were misogynistic and they were racist. And why do you think he doesn't like Candace Owens? When you understand Blake Neff's bent of deep disdain for women of color, it adds, it adds a lot more clarity. So, all right, we're gonna let Baron, but you see, people are a bit shook. People are a bit shook. And maybe this is something Charlie was waking up to. Charlie was very busy. He had to, by way of default, trust people around him. Because he was going all the time. I know that there are people in my life that if they said, give this person a chance because they were given a bad deal, there's one or two people that, but at this point where I am now and digging into things the way I do, I'd still do a deep dive. That would be really hard to step away from. There was somebody I initially wanted to do an interview with, and then she had asked to bring somebody else on board. And I looked into that person and was so unsettled by what I saw with that person. It made me question the character of the person I wanted to interview. And I just nixed the whole thing. So even if it were somebody really close to me, I would dive deep, or I would assign somebody I trusted to dive deep and, show me the report. Shh. So sorry, you guys. I don't know if this helps at all when I do this, but honey, why don't we go ahead and close the door and put up the gate? We have a little baby gate that's like, it's mommy time. Mommy have her time. Welcome to my world. Oh my gosh. It used to be that little, my toddlers would like follow me into the bathroom and like it was office time and office hours were open. And now it's like these little pups that just follow me everywhere. So anyway, so this whole thing, I think Charlie was waking up to a lot of things. But the Blake Neff, it was just so, I want to say obvious. But again, when you're so inundated, like when you're so insulated is the word, in a certain bubble where everything, like if you're convinced that everything from CNN is blah, or everything from Fox is blah, I hope we can grow past that. We are missing something. I am missing something if I keep people in this box. If I think that ERIKA Kirk has nothing good to offer the world, then I'm missing something. If I think that every negative story about ERIKA Kirk is true, then I'm an idiot. So many people, podcasters I respect or whatever, just started propagating, even just as isn't this funny, this story came out about ERIKA Kirk hooking up with this guy in Beverly Hills. There are 2 witnesses. One of them wasn't a witness. One of them was a friend's friend. There's a point where she says that okay, by that picture more than the other one, that matches more of the description of what my friend said. It's not even the friend looking at the picture. They could have beforehand shown the pictures to the friend, and as somebody who lives and works in LA, there's so much I would have just debunked and called out about how she was describing this hotel and the bar that was there, and just all of it. I'm so sick of that story after the last few days that I didn't pull up the video, but that in the AI voice that Project Constitution uses to manipulate this witness's voice is so grating. I couldn't hear it again. Okay. So Baron Coleman, here we go. Where we go?
Darcy reports Neff started a thread on Auto Admit where he would post content incessantly mocking the woman with whom he was friends on Facebook and described as an Asian mega shrew. Late June of 2020, per CNN, Blake Neff was continuing a 5-year campaign of harassment towards this woman. If Charles muck ducked this slang for Asians in cold blood, I'd have quit. That's how they were talking about this woman. CNN brought this to light in 2020, leading to Neff's resignation from Tucker Carlson Tonight. Interestingly, the thread was revived September 7th, 2025. Asian Mega Shrew's current profile pic is an AI-generated image of her holding a blonde-haired, blue-eyed toddler wearing a Yale sweater. Immediate follow-ups confirming the image. Someone linked the screen cap of this woman. And her real Facebook profile was linked to the new thread. Lore. Charles XII, meaning Blake Neff, including the full caption expert, I am not mother material, and I've never been about that pregnancy lifestyle. The following day at 10 a.m., someone bumped the original 2015 thread, linking the revival thread and noting she'd now be in her mid to late 30s. This is a little terrifying if you think about how this is developing. I can't believe her class ring isn't strategically staged, and remove it with fire. Blake Neff, of course, now produces the Charlie Kirk Show, and he stars on the Charlie Kirk Show.
All right, Doug is holding. What do you want me to look at, babe? Real Bays. Hey, honey. Can't wait for tomorrow. Christine's the best. Make sure you hit the like. Thank you, Bays. Is that tomorrow? We doing our thing tomorrow? Tomorrow night? Yay. I had just started watching At the Real Bays on YouTube tonight. He had this afternoon, he had I'm going to say this wrong, but it was Danks and Alice. I'm going blank on the last name, but a lot of drama going on. And apparently Paramount Tactical said something about yours truly, as Baron Coleman would say, yours truly. I don't know why. I've never had interaction with Paramount Tactical. I used him in a video where the head of security and Frank Turek were talking about when they applied pressure and CPR with Charlie, and there was contradicting testimony about whether CPR was being applied. And the Paramount Tactical guy agreed with the security guy that you cannot apply CPR until bleeding is stopped. So I thought that was great. I thought it was really informative, and I used that clip. So I don't know. If you guys caught that, Paramount Tactical, I'm saying that right? Yeah. Slamming on yours truly. Please let me know. It's always interesting to me. I might make mistakes, but I don't lie. And if I make a mistake, I will set the record straight. I have no problem doing that. My identity isn't wrapped up in this. I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm just somebody who woke up one day, learned that Charlie had been assassinated, felt immediately for his wife and children, then immediately was concerned about ERIKA Kirk being manipulated by this administration. That was my next thought, that they were using her as a political hood ornament. And then seeing how involved she was willingly, I was really concerned about the children being essentially orphaned in the emotional sense, to be dramatic. But it wasn't like I just, I didn't have a beef with Turning Point, or I didn't watch Candace regularly. I had only watched a few episodes of the Blake Lively trial stuff. So like I said, no dog in this fight. But what I saw was anybody who expressed a dissenting opinion. I didn't even go out looking for that. I just said, for the sake of my own sanity, something is off here. And people came forward and said, thank you for saying something. And this community, grew. And then I saw it aligned with whatever. But come at me. I'll own my stuff. But I went on X the other day, and which I never, I'm not on X. I have been a little more the last couple of days, but I was soon reminded why I don't go on X. It is like next level, like intelligent conversations aren't to be found there. And I'll show you an example in a second. But like somebody coming at me, calling me grandma. And I'm like, first of all, is that an insult? Like, is that supposed to be a bad thing? But okay, whatever. When they go after looks, your age, it's like, do you have something, a thought to, an intelligent, is this going to be a discussion? And it's not. Just the paid operatives are in full force there. It's like, okay, I don't need to be on X. I mean, I'm on X, but not that plugged in. Okay, where was I going? What was next? Oh, well, we're talking about Barron. Okay, so the point was, because the question is typically asked at this point, or the statement is made, well, Blake has changed. Blake Neff has changed. He's not racist and hateful toward Asian women anymore. That was so long ago. I don't even have to finish this thought, right? And what Barron pulls together, and I put the header of what podcast episode that was. It was on Sunday, in case you missed it. He breaks down how Blake Neff was one of the people that was in Korea with Charlie. Asian people, everywhere would have gotten triggered. And immediately thereafter, this thread kicks up again. And they continue after this woman. And Blake apparently is feeling a bit invincible. Ironically, Tucker said, well, Blake can do anything. Sometimes people, when they get away with something, it just empowers them to, like we see them doing something stupid. And like, why would they think we wouldn't think about that? Well, they don't care what we think because they can get away with anything. I'm not talking about Turning Point in this instance, just anybody. They just feel empowered and the issue isn't dealt with. Oh, okay. What else? I don't know what I have on here. Maybe this is the clip of what I caught on X. Let me see if this is.
Why is Charlie's friends the only people that she's getting so close to all the time? She doesn't have her own friends, huh?
And
Okay. So that's Danks, who you should check out on YouTube and his Instagram and whatever, on X. But he raised the question after all this exposure that ERIKA and Blake win. I still can't, like, I spent 3 solid days. You saw, I didn't post on YouTube. You didn't see me on here. 3 solid days. I'm talking like 8-10 hour days, confirming that, like, Kat Strickler, you know, there was, oh, she was seen in the hotel on the 14th. I went, I mean, I'm looking at her personal bathroom photos compared to the bathroom photos that she was taken that day, light switches from the hotel, the bathroom layouts of the hotel in the Beverly Hills Hotel. I may have missed my calling, or maybe this is it. Maybe it just for all these skills are just coming together for this point in time, which obviously is the case because here we are. It's crazy. But I want to be thorough. And if I got it wrong, I got it wrong. And I didn't, and I'll own up to it. And I didn't watch all of Barron's podcast. You know, he went into the flight times, you know, and the amount of flights, all the different flights, just the times that Blake and ERIKA apparently have spent time together. Okay, whatever. But all that aside, I'm just saying that whatever this accusation was in Beverly Hills, it doesn't add up at all. And my hypothesis was that somebody was setting up Project Constitution to look foolish. Yeah. So I think I showed something before that. All right. So we're going to show, I'm going to click, Doug, if I click on the picture thing, should that pull it up? As opposed to just hitting the video next. If I hit the image, like the ERIKA Kirk's response. Oh, the question was about her not having friends. No, she doesn't have friends. And here's the deal. I think it's because she's at home with the kids, right? They've only been married. They were married, what, 4 years? Several of those months, she was hiding out, pregnant. She was pregnant, hiding out. Could you just dump those out on the bed so I don't hear? He's got these mics, Ikes, Candy. Could you just dump them on the bed so I don't have to hear the shaking in the box?
No,
constantly?
I don't want any more.
You don't want any more? Well, then don't dump them out then. Fine. What? Now you're chewing loud? How do you think this is going to work out for you in the long run? How do you see this playing out? Not thinking long game here, honey. You would think the way that Frank Turek has defended her, that he has had some kind of personal relationship with her, wouldn't you? No, I heard in an interview, I heard him say that he never had a conversation with ERIKA Kirk until the night at the hospital. This is the guy, Frank Turek, who said she'd make a great president. He doesn't know her. He said they'd only say, they'd only say hi in passing. Graham Allen, when he's interviewing Tracy Martin, this thing that was supposed to be this whole debunking of Candace's accusation, it was so bad. I felt bad, like not in a patronizing way, but I felt bad for them. There was one point, and this is a clip I'm going to show you, where Tracy really kind of puts him on the spot. We'll get to that. But he said, no, I didn't know his mother was sick. I mean, I didn't know Erika's mother was sick. You know, my relationship was with Charlie, not with her. So why would I know that? You know, why would my relationship be with her? She just, other than this Tracy Martin person, she doesn't have friends. She didn't have bridesmaids. No big deal. Not everybody does. But this cousin that Erika claimed she was so close to for so long, in 15 years, Tracy Martin never met her. She's not a woman's woman, you know, Erika Kirk's not. So no, she doesn't have a lot of friends. She's, you know, kind of butchy at heart. I mean, she can get the glam up, but in her heart of hearts, she's butchy. And, you know, maybe she's obviously more comfortable with guys. Whatever. I didn't intend to go into all that. On X, Project Tactical. I always, because there's so many consonants involved, Project Constitution and Paramount Tactical, sometimes they get all meshed together in my head. So Project Constitution got a response from Blake Wen and ERIKA Kirk. And you've probably seen this, but can you pull up ERIKA Kirk's response? When I try, it won't do it.
You have to hit add to stage.
I have to hit add to stage, which I can't see because I need my glasses. I don't see an add to stage button.
Hover over it.
I'm hovering on it, add to stage. Okay. Every single word here is a lie. This is so bad. Charlie's love will last me a lifetime. The Lord is the only one who can ever fill that most painful void. How stupid is this? Is this her public declaration that she's never going to get married again? That's what it implies. On May 14th, I was home in Arizona celebrating my son's 2nd birthday. Blake, who was about to be engaged to his longtime girlfriend, was a dear friend of my husband's. Playing the dead husband card. I mean, she could say it was a dear friend of that they're friends, or her and Charlie, my husband's. And I'm grateful for his continued support, just like hundreds of others. Like hundreds are behind her of these friends. Okay, somebody made a big deal out of, she gave away the surprise of this engagement that Blake was going to propose. Now, way out of bounds for her to say this. I doubt very seriously that, I mean, is anyone really surprised by engagements anymore? I mean, maybe on rare occasion, but you know, isn't there some conversation? But does a guy really ask, not with a really strong surety that she's going to say yes because you've talked about it? So I don't know that she blew some big surprise, but wow, boundary issue, way out of bounds for her to bring that up. Your deranged obsession, she's saying to Project Constitution, right, is your deranged obsession with me and blatant disregard for any form of truth whatsoever is deeply disturbing. And I am praying, I hate it when I'm praying you get the help you so clearly need. Because do you really think she's praying that he gets the help he needs? No, it's just patronizing. And then here she just goes full on bitch. She cannot hold the bitch down. She's a bitch. She's a bitch. She is a bitch. And you saw this pre-Charlie's death. Believe me, I've seen enough of the videos. She's got that. It's there. It's there. Brush off the Dorito dust and go touch grass. Are we not a little tired of the touch grass? Clap back. Go touch grass. But you know who else said that a lot? The pizza guy. The boyfriend hers that had pizza tattooed in his lip. What was his name? Cole, who stepped in and took Charlie's speaking engagements. You started to see Colton. Shoot. What's his name, you guys? He lives in Nashville. Candace ran into him at the children's playground with their kids. Cabot Phillips. Cabot. Okay, whatever. Cabot. Yeah, the pizza tattooed inside his lip. You can look at this, look it up, look at her Instagram. The only picture of her eating food on her Instagram is pizza. And it's in the time frame where she was chatting up the 15-year-old girl with very inappropriate, calling her twat waffle, how beautiful she was. Yeah, just so bad. Sometime, Doug doesn't know this yet, but we're going to do a reading of that text exchange. And Doug will be ERIKA, because I think if people heard it from, if that were a man, if that were a 25-year-old man saying those things to a 15-year-old girl, I can't believe that whole thing just got kind of brushed to the side. I was furious. I haven't done a lot of rage posting, but I did one on that just furious. She should be nowhere near students. Have you noticed too? Why would you? I notice, so you don't have to. This would help if I had pictures. But when you see pictures of her kissing children on the cheeks, her lips are quite this kind of puckered. It's very different than when she's kissing her mom on the cheek. There's just something bizarre. It's just creepy. I didn't set out looking for creepy. I didn't think anything of this woman. She just passed across this TV screen because you couldn't get rid of her. She was everywhere on social media. Everybody was posting about it, and it was just creepy. Okay, so Project Constitution puts out this interview with the creepy voice of a witness who has no credibility whatsoever. She talks about being at this hotel and partying with Tom Selleck. Okay, how many decades ago was that? None of what she was referring to about that hotel, the secretness, the invitation, none of that applied to today, let alone May 14th, weeks ago. Non-existent. Kat Stickler was in Tampa. She's doing a post. She did one of those micro abrasion, pin prick, plumping the skin thing. She's in her bathroom in Tampa talking about needing to go to her daughter's violin recital, even though her daughter doesn't play the violin. She was not anywhere near the hotel. She was in LA, I think on the 8th and the 9th, and reportedly not at the hotel. Whatever, I digress. So that comes out, and Project Constitution takes the approach, because both Blake and ERIKA respond. He then says, well, show me, he kind of does a Candace, right? Well, show me screenshots of where you were. Now, when Candace presents something, there's a little more there, right? What he has presented is hearsay. I mean, it's not an eyewitness, it's hearsay. So when people, I'm sorry. So he responds with, well, show me screenshots. Show me something that proves where you were that day. Blake responded, as did anybody else that's in their camp of, who are you? That's stupid, which is fair, And one guy said, here, Graham Allen, with all the tact you would expect from Graham Allen, said, you made the claim, fat boy, you back it up. I would not have worded it that way, but it's a fair point. To which I responded, first I'll show you what I said, this is responding to Graham. I so don't want to get into it, but I'm compelled to share and simply say, Tracy put you in an awkward situation here. And then I attach a video of Graham Allen interviewing Tracy Martin. Tracy Martin has just finished saying, there's evidence ERIKA was with her mother on the morning that Charlie was assassinated, at the clinic, at the treatment center. And Graham is kind of like, because the fact is she's presented no evidence. He knows that. So he's kind of backed into a corner, but has to address it and can't give Candace any credence, right? So I was very familiar with this and immediately recognized the hypocrisy of Graham saying, hey, fat boy, you produced the evidence. So where's the video? I'm sorry, you guys. I was actually articulate there too. Do you see the video, honey?
I think as we continue, I'm kind of taken back by it a little bit. And I would say this, like, I'm sure that people are going to watch and you're going to say, well, where's the evidence? Show us the evidence. Well, I would say this, call us on it, Candace. We dare you. Call us on it. Let's see what.
There you go. And I, like I said, very diplomatically, look, again, what did I say? I said, where did it go? I clicked on the picture. I said, add to stage. It's not there. Okay, Doug, I'm doing it now. So I don't know if we're fighting the system. Okay. I so don't want to get into it, but I'm compelled to share and simply say, Tracy put you in an awkward situation here. And I shared the video where he did the exact same thing. How do you think he responded? How do you think Graham responded to this? He blocked me. Now, I don't think I'm blocked from his entire ex. I think he just made it so I can't comment. But I think that made it so nobody could see what I shared, because he has like 780 something people that, hearted his response. Like, fat boy, you share the evidence if you brought this up. They're like, yeah. There was one person that acknowledged my video, and then I don't think anybody else could see it. I just don't. If I ever do that, usually something in my spirit is like, sends the red flag. Like, Chris, if you go down that, like, you'll be a hypocrite because you had said this before. But I'll own my hypocrisy if I make a mistake. But I can't imagine so blatantly saying, hey, fat boy, when he did something so mega scale. Wouldn't it just be great if we lived in a world that we owned our shit? Now, Doug, you told me that Graham has an adopted daughter, right?
It sounds familiar.
Would you look that up for me? Just double check, because I think she's from a third world country or something. So here's an example of there's good to be found. Like, I have no doubt that Graham Allen and I could have a conversation for hours on end just about adoption and our heart for adoption, because we have 4 adopted children and 4 birth children. And I don't know how many children he has, but I remember Doug mentioning he has 5 children. I remember in that interview with Tracy, he said he hadn't slept in like 15 years or something. But Doug is double checking something about, let me see if you guys know. Sometimes you drop in here. Hello, you guys. Put the link in the chat. My response. Okay. I'm not exactly sure how to do that. Any lead there, honey?
From the pictures, she looks like she'd be Latino.
She's Latino. Maybe Guatemala is a huge, but a third world. Yeah. So, like I said, I mean, there's good in everybody. It's. I just want to encourage you, because I know we're tired. We're all tired, and it's just easy to make things black and white. The gray is exhausting, but ultimately it's a good place to be, because we learn. We learn. All right. Speaking of exhausting, I'm tired. It's like 10 o'clock here. Hey, give me a shout out if you happen to be in Sydney, Australia. Isn't that what you said, Doug? That there was. First of all, I learned that, would you say 80% are women? 80% of the people that hang with me here in YouTube land are women. So apparently, unlike ERIKA Kirk, I am a woman's woman. I love that. I love that. And then most of those women were in Sydney, Australia.
Well, the highest amount, not most.
How is the highest amount, not most?
Because there were close numbers in New York and LA and.
Right, but the highest percentage is Sydney, Australia, and then New York and LA were in there as well. But it was ranked Australia, Sydney, Australia, then New York, then LA.
I believe so, yeah.
Does that sound right? So
I wanted to look at it with you, but you weren't interested.
that's not true. What was I doing at the time?
I don't know. Looking at your phone.
Looking at my phone. I was at the office then. Okay. So if you are in LA, you know what? I just want to know where you are. I want to know where you are. Okay. Now, somebody was asking if I can link the, my response to Graham Allen that he blocked in the chat. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm learning the things.
Or what about that post?
What about the post?
His post.
So if they go to Graham Allen on X, they could post it, but how do I give them that to post?
We'll put it up on the comments in your channel. We can still comment on this video.
We'll comment. So after this is uploaded, we'll comment and put it in. And it's not like I want to blow up his whatever. I don't want. There are these factions of people, like this Paramount tactical, and I'm learning where the party lines are very strongly drawn. I mean, I had an inkling, but so I just don't want to get deeply, immersed in all that, but I guess it only sticks to me if I let it, right? All right, we're going to end on this. I saw a video. It's a feel good. I saw this video. It's from a music festival from 17 years ago. And I had to turn the music off because I didn't want it to get flagged. I didn't start it, Doug. Why is it up there?
I was getting it ready.
I'm smiling, but on the inside. Okay. So there's this music festival, and it is now, the video has gone way past. We have to rewind it. Okay. Okay. We'll start there and that'll roll into it. But don't start it yet, please. Okay. This smile, you know what I'm like. So again, this was a feel-good video. This is a feel-good video. Maybe not this one as a whole, but this segment right here. This guy is at a music festival and he's dancing by himself. And his friend gives him a heads up, like, somebody's recording you. 17 years ago. I guess we had that ability 17 years ago on our flip phones, but you couldn't record off a flip phone, could you? Somehow this guy got recorded. Maybe it was one of those handheld big thing, whatever. And the guy didn't care. He kept doing his thing. I shortened this. By the end of it, I was like, not bawling, but I was very teary. And maybe you've seen this. But I shortened it because he dances by himself for a significant amount of time. Enough that if he cared, he would have started overthinking it, but he's in his zone. Maybe he's on something. I don't know. Doesn't take away from the point because people around him initially are just laughing, right? Eventually somebody comes up and dances with him. Spoiler. And they dance together, just the two of them, for a long time. But then I think you'll catch on. And the music, sorry you can't hear the music, but I didn't want this to get flagged. But the point is made. He's doing his thing. Then a guy joins him. Then somebody else joins him. I don't know how they're staying upright on that hill. Then a couple other people. And more. And more. And more. And more. Until that is the place to be and the thing to do. And you're kind of the asshole if you're not up making a fool out of yourself. And it all started with that one guy doing his thing. And the original video is so powerful. And do you have my phone, honey? Because I want to, oh, it's up here. I want to share with you where to find that. It came up on my Instagram. Something about history. Hold on. History Trails. History Trails. I don't know if it's their most recent, but History Trails. Because when you, oh, somebody said us running into your live. Thank you. What is happening in that video, somebody asked, is that somebody's doing their thing. and in a zone. And you might think it's just you, but it's never just you. But somebody's got to put themselves out there first, right? They institutionalized the guy who said that we had germs on our hands and that surgeons needed to wash their hands before they went into surgery. They didn't like that because they're like, oh, you're saying you're blaming us for death because of infections. The people that put themselves out there first can get laughed at and mocked, but at the end of the day, everybody wants to dance and make a fool of themselves. I could have been there were so many ways that could have gone that could have sounded flowery and beautiful or deep or poetic, and I wasn't tapped into any of those. It only takes a spark to get a fire going. What song is that? Is that a hymn? I was a Chi Omega at Western Kentucky University, and there was a song we'd sing. It only takes a spark to get a fire going. You know what? I think we changed it to Chi-O going. Oh my God. How sorority girl is that? I didn't think I wanted to be in a sorority. And so when I showed up at Western Kentucky University in Bowling Green, Kentucky, where Corvettes are made, are they still made there? I, was just in shorts and a short sleeve sweater and a headband and just doing my thing. And I was kind of bored. I didn't know what to do. And I saw these girls running around that were all made up, and they're like, we're going to Rush. And I'm like, what's that? And so I went, and the sorority that I ended up joining, they said the reason they liked me was just that I didn't care. Like I wasn't like out to woo them with, my hair done and everything. And especially if you follow my Instagram, you'll see that I often just go with a thought in the moment. I'm in a sweatshirt and hair back. And, oh, by the way, my new favorite t-shirt, it's not thin. It's not a sweatshirt, but it's not a thin t-shirt. But if you go to thinkhappystuff.com, which is scrolling across the bottom, you can find these. Did we order any more of these? We still have a few of these, right?
We restocked.
Oh, good. Okay, we recently restocked because these sold out pretty fast. And also the blue sweatshirt with the pockets, those, we just got some more of those in. And did we get another color in those?
Yeah, black, like that.
Oh, really? With pockets. And then what logo? So it's this kind of logo, but it's long sleeve, more of a sweatshirt, and it has pockets. But I think we only have 2 or 3 in each size or something. We only have so much storage space. We do it all here. Doug sends them out himself. It is our little gift company brand that we started in 2006. My handwriting, a flower logo that my grandmother taught my mom, who taught me. It's very simple. Just a reminder to think happy stuff, to think on the good things. Think about the guy dancing on the hill by himself. If you watch the video, it's much more powerful because the guy dances a long time by himself. And he just keeps doing his thing. And eventually people show. So in my case, I stepped out and people showed up and kind of not pushed me down the hill, but was like, I don't know. Again, the analogy is the words aren't flowing tonight, but just like we all clumped together and we started rolling down the hill like a snowball. And we started picking people up as we were going down the hill that were not just casualties, but who were throwing themselves in the path because they wanted to be a part of that ball of truth and humor and overanalyzation at times and armchair psychology and lipstick, which you can also get on the website. And I don't know how many more we have, but once they are gone, they're gone. They don't even make them anymore. What I got going on here. Once it's gone, it's gone. We appreciate your support. We really do. This has been quite the ride. So, all right. There were questions or comments that I need to check out.
No.
Please don't stop the music. Please don't. What?
Days tomorrow night.
Bays tomorrow night. It's 7:00 my time, right? Our time. Pacific time. So keep an eye out for Bays and I are doing a collab. What's it called? What do the kids call it these days? 7:00 Pacific time. So look at Bays, the real Bays, Bayes. It's gonna be a good one.
Wednesday, June 3rd.
Wednesday, June 3rd, because today is Tuesday, June 2nd. Humor is healing, and there is always humor to be found. All right. There were a couple comments that, where you do your super chat thing. Is that where they're called? And you gift us. And we appreciate that very much. So I don't want to take that for granted or not answer a question. Thank you so much for your gift, Marnie 49. Thank you so much. I am just scrolling through. I probably need to go, get real glasses so I can see your comments pop up. Cabot Phillips. Yes. Geneva. Thank you. Wiley. Cabot Phillips. Yes. Nicole Page. Thank you. Seaside. Yes. Cabot Phillips. Was that ever explained? The pizza, like, why? Why would he do that? All right, baby, do you see any questions I need to answer? Here's your opportunity. This is the 60-second warning. If you have a question, this would be the time. ThinkHappyStuff.com. ThinkHappyStuff.com. Okay. Well then, Duck, is there anything you want to say in closing to our wonderful friends? Thank you for hanging with us, you guys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Sorry tonight, I'm a little all over the place, still learning the technical things. The goal, again, I've said this before, the goal is to do this every day. And I see, people get on here and they're only 20 minutes. It doesn't have to be this big thing. I can just address one topic. It doesn't have to be a whole production. But it's been a little while, so I thought I would share thoughts. All right. We good, honey? We good, you guys? Thanks for being here. Very much love and appreciate you. Check out Keith Edwards, Bays. Of course, Baron Coleman. You just keep doing you. You just do you. With Bays tomorrow night, he's got that East Coast accent. It's going to be really hard for me not to slip into that. All right. Bye, guys. Love you.